everybody, and welcome back to the Spotlight. I'm Nick Candela, and we are joined here with some of the fellas from the Top Hat Sideshow. Thank you guys for taking some time out of your schedule to come visit us. Now, tell me a little bit, besides your awesome wardrobe, what is the Top Hat Sideshow?
The Top Hat Sideshow is it's an entertainment extravaganza.
And exactly in which way do you entertain?
I am a magician and juggler.
Okay.
This is Andrew. He's our temp performer. He does all of the dangerous stuff.
Okay.
We don't expect him to live through most of the shows. He does fire performance, sword swallowing, dangerous things.
Very cool.
And this is Christopher. He's the sideshow genius,
Extraordinaire.
strange person.
He does all the icky things.
That's hence the name, The Big Icky.
Okay, very nice. Well, welcome to the Spotlight, and we're going to get into a few of the performances later on here during the interview. But first, how does somebody get into a sideshow? What are you just playing around one day, you trip and fall, landed it cool, and said, maybe people will want to see me do that again? How do you get into the sideshow business?
I personally kind of stumbled into it. I was a computer programmer.
Okay.
And I did magic on the side as a hobby. Once I moved to Detroit, I just started getting more and more shows and networking, and I got too busy for my normal job. So I just quit it and did this full time and hooked up with these strange characters.
Yep.
Very cool. Now, as far as the, sword swallowing, fire breathing, how in the world does one discover that they can do something like that?
Well, I started out with fire performance. I did a lot of the fire spinning and the fire twirling and juggling and things with a group of friends, and that was while I was going to Lawrence Tech for computer engineering.
Okay.
And
Pattern here.
It's always the smart ones you got to watch out for.
somewhere along the line, I just realized that I couldn't sit at a desk. So I just decided to make a business out of it, and that was back in 2003. There was really no professional circus entertainers in this area. So my wife and I created Bacchanal Promotions, which is our company, and just started doing shows with the fire, and then we picked up stilt walking and picked up a little bit here and there that we did, and then we started working with more performers. I picked up the sword swallowing because it's the most dangerous and most exclusive act. I'm actually the only sword swallower in Michigan.
Wow.
The only sword swallower left in Michigan.
Well, that's very cool. I mean, we're glad to have you on. Now, explain to me icky things in, I guess, an adult contemporary theme. Keep it clean, but what are we talking about here?
I understand. An adult contemporary theme. Well, one of the traditional sideshow acts that I love to perform is Bed of Nails.
Okay.
It's so menacing and dangerous.
It's
And
iconic.
yes, iconic as well. Lay upon it, and we vary depending on our acts, whether it's going to be Andrew the Temporary standing on me and juggling knives to actually smashing a cinder block on my chest.
Okay.
Sometimes the cinder block is on fire.
Yes.
So, I mean, this may sound redundant, but again, how does one discover that they are able to do something like that? What is the training behind it? I'm assuming you don't just jump into the Bed of Nails for the first time. You have to do some kind of training, I would hope.
Yes.
And of course, nobody try any of the things that we're talking about at home.
Yeah, go to
These
the
are
neighbor's
trained
house.
professionals. So now, with that disclaimer, please do tell us the training behind something like that.
A lot of it was reaching out to other fellow performers and studying history of sideshow and learning the arts. I also attended Oddity U, which is by a performer veteran named Harley Newman.
Okay.
He actually lays on a bed of one nail. He's known for.
Oh, that's incredible.
Yes,
And
it's
that
an amazing.
sounds absolutely agonizing.
Yes.
Okay, well, let's talk a little bit more about some of the magic. You being a magician yourself and juggler, what kind of training or what is your specialty in magic? Is it the close, confrontational magic, or do you the big, stage shows? What do you prefer? What's your specialty?
I do both.
Okay.
What I started with was the close-up, and so that's got a special place in my heart.
Okay.
And there's something pure about seeing something right in front of you. The stage is awesome, but that separation creates a lot of, well, maybe it's just mirrors or something, but when it's right in front of you, there's none of that.
Very cool.
I can show you something if you'd like to see.
I would love to see it. I'm pretty sure everybody watching would see it as well.
All right.
What do you got for me?
Let me see. Do you have $1 I can borrow?
Actually, now that you've mentioned it, I do have this nice crisp $20 bill. I just happen to have on me.
All right. Well, this just got 20 times more intense. I'm gonna take a pen. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to create a black hole in space.
Okay.
All right. Now, if you know anything about black holes, you know this is extremely dangerous. But I've been practicing. I think I can pull it off.
All right.
All right. So step one in creating a black hole in space is creating a real hole in something like a borrowed $20 bill, preferably borrowed.
Oh, yeah.
And then taking that hole and moving it from the bill into space.
That was absolutely mind-blowing.
So this spot
There's
right here,
no hole in this $20 bill.
there's a black hole right here, which we can use for one more trick if you'd like.
That was unbelievable. Yeah, let's do it.
You put
We got
your
a black
hand-
hole, let's use it.
Put your hand right here. And make sure everyone can see this. We're going to send this penny into the black hole. It's going to disappear completely.
Okay,
Are you ready?
if you say so.
On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh, so close. Man,
That is unbelievable. I mean,
when you start dealing with black holes, you never know what's going to happen, but
okay, now let me preface this by, we did not practice any of this, nor did I have any idea what to expect. I'm sitting here on the same stage as you. I watched you do this to my hand, and I have absolutely no explanation.
yeah. Science.
So, yeah, science, magic. That is unbelievable. That's very great talent. Now,
Thank you very much.
I'm sorry, I am speechless. I don't know what just happened to me. There's something in this world.
I was worried. A second there, I thought your hand grew, but
Yeah,
penny
now
shrunk.
that I could use. I could use something like that. Now, in the world of magic, when you're doing things like that, the pressure is on. I'm sure, the practice and the routine, you just have to get them down before you step on a stage with that.
Lots
what
of
kind
practice.
of, background do you have with this?
I've been doing it since I was a kid.
Okay.
I did it really badly for about the first 10 years. But I stuck with it, and eventually you just start getting good at it. There's a lot of psychological principles involved in the misdirection and whatnot.
Of course.
And at some point it just becomes natural, and the nervousness goes away, but it took a long time. I didn't have anybody training me, so.
Okay.
I think the background in improv is very important, especially for our stage show, because it is so in the moment, and we use the audience members and we play off of each other with the energy of the crowd. So it's not like a scripted show.
Okay. Okay.
So I think improv background is very important for it as well.
Also, being a sociopath is good.
Yeah, that
Not
generally.
necessary, but helpful.
But helpful.
Being able to look at somebody in the eye and just lie to their face.
So it might not get you the job, but it'll get you the interview, right?
Of course.
Okay, I'm still thrilled. Now, I don't think we're gonna have you breathing fire or stabbing anything, unfortunately, today.
With the cobwebs, it could get interesting. real
Yeah,
quick.
yeah, I could imagine this place going up pretty quick. But how do you get? I know we talked about how you get into it, I guess, a little bit. But how do you practice something like that? You're just like, oh, my toothbrush that hurt a little bit, but maybe I'll try a butter knife this time.
For the sword swallowing, it is by far, I have about 12 to 15 different acts that I perform.
Okay.
And the sword swallowing was far and away the most unpleasant and difficult that I've ever learned. It was, and without getting into too much detail.
Of course.
For your sake, not for the sacred of
Okay,
the art.
okay.
But it involved about 15 months. Every morning I would practice, and basically you have a involuntary muscle, the one you use to swallow.
Okay.
You have to train your body to have control over that muscle. So you have to repeatedly trigger your gag reflex until you can control it.
Okay.
And then you have another one. You have the upper and the lower right
Okay.
before your stomach. So you have to learn both of those. And it's a very messy process.
I could imagine. I was going to say,
it's-
people living with you while you're practicing are probably
Yeah.
fairly upset with you while you're going through this training.
Well, my wife actually was very supportive. She does a lot of these acts as well. She
Oh, very
actually
cool.
is the one that taught me how to do fire eating. But yeah, she was very supportive throughout the whole situation, and I still practice doing bigger swords and longer swords and doing different tricks and things with them. So I'd still practice 4 or 5 times a week. But in addition to the training, the actual preparation for the show is very rigorous. I can't eat anything approximately 4 hours before the performance. That way I have an empty stomach and it's a lot easier to control any accidents.
Yeah.
Give you an idea of how dangerous it is and how important it is to keep practicing. That involuntary gag reflex, if it ever kicks into gear when the sword is in there, the sword is millimeters from every major organ. And there's a thin wall, your esophagus, separating it. If that gag reflex kicks into gear involuntarily,
I
it's
can
going to push
imagine.
the sword into either your lung, your heart. You just don't want to do that. And so
So keep practicing.
the amount of practice is insane, which is why there aren't a lot of people that do it.
And again, it's completely impressive. I mean, I wouldn't even dare even thinking about doing anything like that. Now, on to the icky things.
Yes.
You know, the strange and unusual. You can manipulate, obviously, your body in some ways if you're laying on beds of nails. But I see you have a prop with you.
I do.
Care to elaborate?
I can. What I have here is a standard issue tennis racket,
Okay.
because this act has no strings attached.
See what you did there.
Remove my coat. But what I have, you can examine it too if you like.
Okay.
Solid aluminum.
Yeah, that's flat out a tennis racket.
You're familiar with what a contortionist is, right?
Absolutely. We've had a few
Alright.
on the show.
Then I will contort my body through this racket.
You got one arm through. And he's kind of got a second arm
There
through.
we go. This is not an act for kids to try at home.
Yes, again, do not try this at home. And he's got it through the shoulders, which I imagine is not easy.
That's one of the difficult
And
parts.
if you take a look where he is now, you can see there's literally zero space around where he just had his arm through.
You can
as
actually
well
try
as
to
his
put your
chest.
fingers if you want.
There's nothing getting between you and that racket, that's for sure. Definitely the most animated act we've had on the spotlight thus far.
This is where Christopher second guesses those donuts he just had.
Moment on the lips, lifetime on the hips. Okay, and now this is the last and most difficult part. It's at the hips. Okay.
Unbelievable.
Watch it there, Shakira.
I was gonna say. Unbelievable. A regular standard tennis racket through and around a human being is unbelievable. Congratulations. Thank you for the show.
You should see what he can do with a ping pong paddle.
I'll pass on that. Now, what kind of events do you guys play at? I mean, are you doing shows, parties, things of that
Yeah,
nature? You know,
pretty much everything. I mean, we started at fairs and private parties and things. Mostly now we're doing a lot of corporate events,
Okay.
a lot of city festivals. Just this upcoming weekend in Grand Rapids, we have a craft beer festival that we're doing
Very cool.
the Top Hat Sideshow at, and we have the show with the three of us, and then we also do individual shows, and we have more strolling, close-up performances that we do. So really, it can range anywhere from a small birthday party all the way up to the biggest event we've probably ever done was for the Chrysler holiday party, which was 23,000 guests.
Unbelievable.
So it varies very significantly, but I mean, pretty much anyone that wants to be entertained gives us a call.
And you guys you're on social media. What's a
Yeah.
good way to get a hold of you guys?
Facebook is probably the easiest way at Top Hat Sideshow.
Okay.
Easy to remember with the hat
Of course.
and whatnot. But also our website, tophatsideshow.com. Just give us a call, even if they're not really sure what they want. If
Right.
they just say, hey, we want a party, we want it to be cool.
And if they want to see you in action, you have some events coming up near the end of the month here.
Yes, this weekend at the Craft Beer Festival, and then also at the Soaring Eagle Casino in Mount Pleasant. We're going to be there Halloween night as well as New Year's Eve.
Very cool. Well, you guys impressed me very much. You guys seem to be on your way to something big here, and I'm glad you guys took time out of your schedule to come to our Halloween spectacular on the Spotlight, and best of luck to all of you.
Thank you.
Really
Thank you so
appreciate
much.
it.
Yeah.
Stick around. There's plenty more Spotlight Halloween edition coming right up after the break. Don't go anywhere. The Spotlight will be right back.